Hello, I'm Robin Henning, and welcome to another Exchange Life Nugget of Truth. Have you ever been eager to watch a replay of a sporting event or see a movie or TV show that you have on tape only to have someone tell you the end before you get a chance to see it? Well, I know that my colleague Ken Keeler has, because he still reminds me of a time 20 years ago when I told him the score of an Eagles game before he had a chance to watch the game. Apparently, I ruined it for him. But you see, I'm not like him. I like to know the end before I see it because it removes all the stress and all the anxiety, and I can simply enjoy watching the event. It hasn't been spoiled for me. And maybe this is why I like prophecy so much. I love to see the events of the Bible unfold in real time, just like God foretold through his prophets. So I can watch the news reports outside of the mainstream media, because they don't tell us the truth, and see what's really happening in the world and not get freaked out. I can see the agenda of the globalists unfolding and not get anxious, because I know that God is still in control and he has given us the ultimate spoiler alert. Jesus won. He's already won. Satan is defeated. But Satan is still crazy enough to think he can still win, and if he can't win, at least he can take as many people to hell with him and his angels as he possibly can. Folks, I am less than thrilled with our choices in this upcoming election, if we even have an election, but it's not going to stop me from voting. Unless they stop the election, of course. But nevertheless, we see stuff unfolding every day that is just moving us closer and closer to Ezekiel 38 and 39. The coup that happened, the failed coup that happened in Turkey, is just brought that alliance that's listed in Ezekiel 38 closer to each other. Israel now realizes that the U.S. and a lot of traditional powerful NATO nations are not going to back them, so they're strengthening their ties with NATO nations down in Africa. It's crazy to see some of this stuff going on. And if we let it get us anxious, we could really get worked up over what's going to happen to America and what's going to happen around the world. You know, our current regime is doing some crazy stuff. I mean, $400 million given to the Iranians. Seriously? It's clear that those in power right now are very globalist-minded and very anti-America. But that doesn't mean that we should give up hope for our nation. It doesn't mean we shouldn't vote. We should still do what we need to do to maintain the integrity of our Christian and Judeo-Christian roots here. We should be speaking up against what they're trying to do. And we're to take courage. Why? Because we know that the Lord Jesus told us that when we start to see these things, they're just birth pangs. And when the birth pangs happen, we're to look up. We're to keep our eyes focused on our Redeemer. Why? Because he's drawing near. The globalist agenda will not prevail. In fact, Jesus is going to destroy them completely, supernaturally, as foretold by Daniel. Jesus will establish his kingdom. It will never end. So we as believers should take heart. We should be strengthened in our faith and stand firm in our faith and stand up for our faith, no matter what. Because we have the ultimate spoiler alert. We know that we win. So take heart, take courage, have a blessed week in Jesus. We'll see you next week.